Last week we looked at one way to improve STAAR scores, and that dealt with the testing effect. Is that basically having people retrieve information helps prepare them for later times when they need to retrieve information, which is something they're going to have to do on the STAAR test. This time we want to talk about the impact of prediction. And prediction, obviously, there's a number of ways to do it. They talk in this little chart here, is that it's a guess or an estimate or assuming something or inferring something. But basically it is taking the information you've learned before and using it to help determine what you think the next issue might be, or to predict what is going to happen there in the future. And so research has shown that we're looking at about a 10% increase in scores among students who regularly use prediction within instructional strategies. And we think about how many of our students are right there on the borderline when it comes to testing, is that 10% difference can make a huge difference overall. And I tell you, I think the reason this takes place is because when you predict something, especially if it's something you have some background with already, is that you're creating an investment in the topic and maybe even a little bit of self-competition, trying to determine whether or not you can put it all together to help look at whatever that future issue might be or that prediction might be. And how do you do this? I mean, in my mind, what you do is you can do pre-tests. Ultimately, you can ask your students to guess what will happen next, and this happens a lot when you're doing some English assignments or reading something. And then, of course, you need to make sure that it is an extension of what you've already done. And in order to do that, it really activates the mind to be able to try to put everything together to make that prediction. The one thing you need to make sure is that there has to be really good closure, because if you have too much of a gap between the time you predict and the time in which they actually find out the answer, a lot of the motivation disappears because of the lack of timeliness. At UT Tyler, make sure we want to be a part of whatever you have going on, and remember, inspire and educate, be architects of human potential.